Hey guys, my name is Micah. I am a co-founder and CMO for ZeroTo1, and the purpose of this video is to give you a quick flyover of our process related to creative strategy. I think that is a buzzword that a lot of people are throwing around right now, but I wanted to define it simply and then give you a sense of how we handle creative strategy and what that means for our clients. But simply, creative strategy, if I could define it, is just a set of steps or a system that you take to follow to ensure that you meet growth goals or performance goals. And for us, that is championed by a dedicated performance pod for every one of our clients, led by a dedicated creative strategist. And this is how this process works kind of at a very high level. But for us, it starts with a pretty in-depth audit and analysis of the brand. We look at top performing concepts, worst performing concepts, identify key messaging. We look at, do a competitor analysis to figure out what missing recipes have been tested, and really try to wrap our hands around what are the opportunity areas that we should test for a creative testing period initially to generate top performing concepts and top performing creatives that we can build on and iterate on over time. And this strategy we use, we have a 100% success rate in beating account averages within 60 days for all of our clients. It's the process that works. And so want to kind of fly over how we handle that. With us, it starts with, we've got, during this creative audit and creative strategy build out, we leverage a library of top performing concept styles. We call them recipes. So we have a good sense of what is working, both by following trends inside the industry, but also running these concepts with our clients on a daily basis. And so we start there. We match those concepts to your brand and tailor those concepts to your brand, and then match you to ideal creators that are your target demographic to go and execute those concepts. And usually that starts with, for that creative testing period, we're going to develop about 15 individual concepts using 2 to 3 creators. And we go a little bit broad in that initial set with the goal of identifying which concepts are going to resonate and perform well, and cut losers pretty quickly, and then iterate on top of those winners so that we can figure out, okay, concept 2 performed really well. How can we take this concept and apply it to future net new creators? And then of the creators we worked with, who is good to work with again and again that we can build future concepts with? And then of the winning concepts, running tests for first 3-second hooks or call to actions, or changing up the sales sequence to extend the life and the overall success of that concept over time. So it generates that month over month compounding growth. It's built off of rapid experimentation and learning. So every month, each dollar you spend is informing the next. And so that's how this process worked. It's a rinse and repeat process that will beat your account averages guaranteed. And this is how we handle most typically creative testing in the first 6 months. We've got a 6 months, typically a 6-month contract with our clients, and that's because we really need several creative cycles to have that process where we are implementing iterations on a monthly basis, which is how you predictively scale your growth. Pardon my phone ringing there. And so this is how we start. Once we kick off a client, on week 3, we're going to present a tailored creative strategy for your brand. During that time frame, during the first 2 weeks leading up to that presentation, we're going to be ingesting all of your past content. We're going to be looking deep on your business manager and figuring out what are the opportunities for us to test into. But alongside of that, we're going to be ingesting all of your prior content and identifying opportunity areas to remix that content and introduce new ad creative to test right away. There's nothing more frustrating for us than an agency who doesn't have any deliverables during the onboarding period in the first month. We don't believe in that. And so right away, you're going to be getting new, fresh content that's built off of best practices and some hypotheses that we're going to have right away. You'll get that delivered on week 2 ahead of the creative presentation for the first round. And then after the creative presentation, a second batch, usually 5 in each batch. And then we can get your account moving immediately. We can start testing some of those hypotheses and key messages while we're working on net new content. And so you'll see on week 10, our group 2 content is all net new. And so this is coming out of our creative strategy presentation. We're going to present it usually 8 to 10 unique concepts that are fit to your brand, as well as work with 2 to 3 creators to execute those concepts. And so we'll let that run in the account for several weeks while we're already building group 3. 10 times net new content. And then on week 10, you're going to see your first performance report and recommendation. So at this point, the creative has had enough time inside of the account to get some initial learnings. And so we're going to take a look at that content, figure out where we can iterate from there. So identify top performing concepts, top performing creators, and figure out, okay, of this winning concept, there's an opportunity here to say, swap the first 3 seconds for a hook that performed really well in another concept. And so you can start to make iterations on winning creative, and that's how you scale your account. So after that first report on week 10, on week 11, we're going to deliver 5 creative iterations from the first round. And then this process is rinse and repeat. The first 4 months is an account ramp-up period where we start to introduce that performance reporting cadence. And every month, we're going to leverage the learnings from that previous month's performance to come up with new concepts and net new creators, as well as iterate on winners. And that is a rinse and repeat process and what we use to scale an account. And then the final 2 months, and usually a contract term, is when we're really starting to see that scale come in and have a really dialed creative strategy. We have a playbook that we know works inside your account and are just building on top of that. And then with most of our clients, we're retaining them for far longer than 6 months, but this process is rinse and repeat, always finding levers we can pull within the individual creatives itself to scale ultimately the ROAS of the account. But we're looking at important but uncommon metrics like thumb stop ratio, which is of the people that are deliver the ad, the impressions, how many of those are watching the first 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and up to 6, 10 seconds. We're also looking at watch time, so where in the creative people fall off, which is how you can start to play with the cell sequence and swap things around to hold that attention for longer. And then obviously click-through rate or click-to-purchase ratio, metrics that will show overall performance and how people are engaging and how well the creative is resonating with the audience. And all of these things will ultimately impact ROAS, which is what we're accountable to. But ROAS is more of a metric of overall success. So think about it like if you have a car that is broken or running, that would be ROAS. You can't identify what to fix in the car, but you can identify if it's working or not. That's how we look at ROAS. And then from there, you have to do an in-depth analysis of, could be the radiator is broken. And so you know at that point what lever you need to pull to get the car running or not. And so we're obviously looking at ROAS for overall success and identifying winning concepts, but it's the individual creatives or the individual metrics within the creative itself that we use to scale month over month. So I hope this is helpful. I want to give a sense of how we think about creative strategy and what the testing and iteration cycles look like. If you have any questions, please reach out to our team, and we hope to speak to you soon.